What's up? Welcome back to the Bloom Room. I'm Chantel, if you don't know. This is my channel, serving all things spiritual realness. And today's video, I'm going to be talking about mentalism, the first of the 7 universal laws, what mentalism is, how to apply it to your life to take power back. Mentalism may not be the most profound of the 7 spiritual laws, but it is a foundation. So you have to understand how to train your mind and why it's important in order for you to really grab these other universal laws by the horn and use them the way they're meant to be used. So the law of mentalism states in the Kabbalion, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Now when I say the all in all of these videos, I am referring to God, source, spirit, whatever resonates with you, but the all is referencing the underlying source, the cause behind all physical manifestations, the reasons that everything is here right now. Mentalism is stating that all of creation exists within the mind of God, and all of creation came from first, mental energy. When we're talking about God, when we're talking about spirit, we're ultimately talking about something that can never be, our minds can never really wrap around this idea of God. It's always just going to be, words, which will always limit us. Spirit in itself can be considered an infinite, universal, living mind. So using law of correspondence, which I know we haven't talked about, but I just have to use it. Correspondence stating as above, so below. I like correspondence because it kind of acts as a mathematic formula, I guess. Like if we know that X equals this and Y equals this, let's just set this up in a way to figure out what this smaller meaning can be, applied from a bigger meaning. When we're doing anything, we first have to have an idea, and then the idea is birthed physically. And that's exactly how everything in this universe came to be, because God is a mental and the universe is mental, and everything is constructed with mental energy. So can you see the importance of learning how to really, take hold of your mental energy? Because it's the hardest thing to fucking do in life, but it's the foundation of happiness. Quote from the Bible that supports this law, I think is Matthew 17 verse 20. And it states, if you have but the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. What is faith? Faith is, unknowing, unwavering, trust in things that you can't see. No matter how big or small, if you have faith, if you believe in something bigger than yourself, then that will always be created. You will always find the energy. Things don't necessarily have to add up. You don't necessarily have to work hard, in order to manifest that what you want. It's basically saying you can do anything in this world if you have faith, if you have, strong mental energy, a strong mind. A scientific quote that supports this law of mentalism is the Heisenberg principle, which states, the act of observing alters the reality being observed. If you've heard of the double slit experiment, it's kind of like this, trippy question, like if a tree falls in the middle of the forest and no one's there to hear it or see it, did it really fall? There have been multiple experiments done that state that reality doesn't exist without something to observe the reality. You know what I mean? Very trippy. So we know from my Spirituality for Beginners, the foundation, the Matrix video, is that our reality is simply a culmination of our beliefs and our point of views and the way that we think. And so it's so important. If you want to make things happen in your life, you have to have a strong mind. And it's easier said than done. And so I want to kind of talk about how we can train our mind to be stronger. And I want to put a disclaimer, because I learned all these laws so long ago and I fell off, and now I'm relearning them with you. So I'm not preaching, I'm learning and teaching at the same time. Things that help me and things that will help you train your mind. This quote by William Blake I really love. It If the doors of perception are cleansed, everything would appear how it is, which is infinite. You know, everything is infinite. The universe is mental energy. Mental energy is infinite. So just understand that we exist in a limitless ocean of pure consciousness. And what is pure consciousness? Pure consciousness is pure possibility. But when your consciousness is being used in ways you're not aware of, then it's going to feel like you are entrapped by this consciousness. You're going to feel like you're in prison. So let's talk about how we can apply the law of mentalism to actually change our lives and not overwhelm us. Step 1 to applying mentalism to your life is to become crystal clear on what you want. This is the first step for manifesting. This is the first step for that I always come back to when I start to feel like I'm losing myself and I'm losing my mind. When we fall off, I've made a video on this before. When we fall off, it's really nothing more than forgetting. We're forgetting what we're doing it for. We're forgetting, you know, the real reason why we're doing what we're doing, and so we're going through the motions. So the first step in training your mind to be strong is to be crystal clear on what you want. And that's also the first step to stop manifesting what you don't want. We're like half-ass asking our angels and our guides for what we think we want, or, you know, what we think is crystal clear, but really it's not clear at all, and so it's helping us manifest what we don't want, which helps us manifest what we do want in the end. But let's not even fucking learn the hard way anymore. Let's just manifest what we want. Something that I think that we should start doing, maybe I'll start doing together with you guys, is journaling. Journaling is extremely therapeutic, but I know that when you're depressed and you lack that creative energy, you don't know, you know, what to write, and your words aren't coming from a place of flow. So I want to be the one to kind of give, you know, some inquisitive questions that will spark your mind and allow you to really, you know, learn more about yourself. So something I've done recently that makes me feel so much more clear on what I want. I have created a list. It says, what do you want out of it or from it? And underneath, I know you can't see, but I have all these columns. What do you want out of your job, your relationship? What do you want from YouTube? What do you want out of a normal day? What do you want from the food you eat? What do you want from the music you listen to? What do you want from your hobbies, your words? What do you want from yourself? What do you want from others? What do you want from your body? I find that breaking this down very, 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 very into all these little categories that seem so like, it seems so weird to write what you want out of it, but intention is everything. So after you make this list, you know, like what do I want out of this and this and this, then you're going to go on and you're going to break it down even more. You're going to go, what do I want from my job? How I make my income. I want to create my own hours. I want financial freedom. I want YouTube to be my career. I am my own boss. I love what I do to make money. And then when you've created everything that you want crystal clear from your job, because we're not being lazy anymore, y'all. It's time to boss the fuck up and manifest this shit crystal clear. You're gonna go, what do I want out of me? Okay, I want integration. I want wholeness. I want patience with myself. I want forgiveness with myself. I want surrender. Then you're gonna go, what do I want from, you know, my relationships? So on and so forth. Keep going and fine-tuning everything that you know you deserve and that you specifically want out of every concept in your life. Become clear on what you want. Step number 1. So this, in essence, is rewriting your beliefs. That's also can be called step number 1. Step number 2, clear the mind. It's crazy because, you know, to think that to use our mental energy, it kind of seems counterintuitive to, you know, be going beyond the mind. But first, if we want to learn how to anchor and use this mental energy to our liking, we have to transcend the mind in order to go into it, if that makes sense. We have to learn the true nature of our mind, which, as we know, is pure consciousness. But like I said, when your consciousness is being used in ways that you're not aware of, you're gonna feel like it's not pure consciousness. You're gonna feel like it's dark, dense energy. Like I said before, everything is how you see it. If you see your mental energy as dark, dense energy, that's exactly what it is. So we need to first clear the mind, understand the nature of the mind, which is truly relaxed, playful, and it is spacious. Keyword, spacious. Our minds are not just a place for our thoughts to reside. Our mind is a field of pure consciousness, of pure intelligent energy, ready to grasp onto anything and everything, you know, that can say, hey, I can make you feel good. We're gonna grasp on that. Hey, I can make you feel bad. I'm making you feel bad. We're gonna cling on to that. It's just the nature of the mind to cling, to cling, to cling. And it's our job as, you know, spiritual warriors to overcome this clinging with observation. We want to clear our mind by creating space. We want to create space by recognizing that the stream of thoughts is not continuous. It's not never ending. It's just what we're used to. And we're going to create space by finding the gap in between your thoughts. That gap in between a thought is what we're going to, you know, hold on to and try to make bigger. One way that we need to clear our mind besides finding the gaps is going to be stopping habitual labeling, habitual thinking. You know, when we see an object like this, we don't see a cup. We see the words in our mind that says, this is a cup. Like, what the fuck is a cup, bro? I remember when I first started doing this used to trip me out so bad. This is how I started to train my mind, and my depression was really taking a back burner to this shit. I would just find an object, focus on it, transcend the labels, transcend the words that your mind is going to tell you. When you see this, you're going to see a cup and a straw. But beyond that, once you let those mental labels, let those mental images pass, you know, you might think, this reminds me of something that I saw when I was little. Once you let those comparisons pass, you're going to find empty, clear space. And you're going to find that observation in object consciousness, you know, observing an object for what it is and letting it be without mental abstraction and analyzing. You're going to find that your mind is a lot more clear. And practice this with everything that you see around you. When you exhale, focus on the moment after that exhale, that moment of stillness, and try to lengthen that. Try to intersperse your thoughts and your daily activities, everything you're doing, try to intersperse it with space. And I think this will really help you. So that takes me to observation. You need to then observe what makes you suffer. What I mean by this is watch your mind like it's your fucking child. Don't just be the person that the thoughts happen to. Be the observer as well, because you are that observer. We just forget we have that power, or we get so lost in the role, you know, of feeling our thoughts instead of observing them. But it's just a role, girl. Watch your mind like this. You're having thoughts and you're like, just laying in bed thinking, and your thoughts are starting to go south, and you're like, oh, I'm starting not to feel good. You gotta go like this. Where do you think you're going? Get your ass back in line. You have to check yourself, bro. Don't let other people be the first ones to check you. Check yourself, face yourself, and see where you're letting thoughts that you don't believe in dictate your life. You will be surprised how many thoughts that we don't even agree with that we let control our whole life. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Thoughts like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. Thoughts that we truly might believe on a surface level because we're being told these thoughts by our ego. But on a deep soul level, we don't agree with this. That's why there's disharmony and we don't resonate. That's why we feel pain. So we've already become crystal clear on what we want. We want true freedom from our mental constructs. We want true freedom from the prison in our mind. Part of observing is going to be asking yourself, with every decision you're making, with every choice you're making, is this truly bringing me freedom? Not just on the surface level, okay, it's bringing me comfort, but is it truly deeply underneath it all bringing me freedom? You know, is me binge eating all this food right now, it's gonna give me comfort and I have the freedom to do so, but is that truly bringing me freedom on a soul level? No, it's entrapping me. You know what I mean? It's having the strength to look at your choices, each choice, big and small, and saying, is this truly bringing me what I want? Is this truly fulfilling me? Because it's only when we become lazy with that shit that we become, what's the word? Complacent. That's the word. Another thing about observing is questioning, asking yourself, what am I clinging to? And whatever I'm clinging to, is it bringing me true fulfillment and freedom? I feel like any type of cling is just not good, and too much of anything is just not good, even if it's positive. So cling, not a fan. The last step, which kind of goes with understanding the nature of the mind, is to perceive your mind for what it is, which is ultimately space. So once you clear your mind, it's going to be easier for you to then see the true nature of your mind. You know, in these passing thoughts, in these gaps that we're lengthening, it's going to be easier to see the life behind our thoughts. And I think that once you start to perceive your mind as spaciousness and instead of a prison, then there can no longer be a prisoner. Once this, false reality, once the reality that you no longer believe in, you're seeing it for what it is, and you're seeing that it's not solid, that it's subject to change, and that you have the power to change it, then you still might not feel good. It's not just going to be like you're out of the woods. You still might feel bad because we're used to everyone and everything thinking for us. So you say you want freedom, but do you have that creative energy to truly come from a place of love and not fear to create your life the way that you want it without, a blueprint that someone's giving you? You can just tend to clam up and panic because we're just used to living by fake rules. And it's also hard because we're being challenged to let go of everything we've ever believed, everything we've ever known. And that's what's closest to us, even if your idea of self is one that suffers. Whatever we're comfortable in is pain, happiness, whatever. It's going to be hard to let go of. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be painful sometimes. It's not going to be easy, but it's ultimately going to be so worth it. I think that I can build upon these ideas if you need me to, but apply the law of mentalism, which states everything is mental, by training your mind, becoming crystal clear on what you want, clearing your mind, observing what makes you suffer, and then perceiving the true nature of your mind as spaciousness. That is mentalism. The next video is going to be on correspondence, which states as above, so below. And correspondence is my favorite, so tune in.